Welcome everyone, I'm Scott Shepard, host of the Flower Podcast. And this time of year, there are so many beautiful blooms that are great for the holidays. There's tons of different foliages and greeneries and textures and things, but flowers sometimes are challenging. We've got amaryllis of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Sometimes we use tulips, ginestra, Christmas bush, all these different things that are great, but there just isn't, to me, sometimes that big wow flower. Well, and then I go to a grocery store and I see all these amazing poinsettias. Well, poinsettias have always been a pot crop as long as I've known, or of course they're a landscape tree depending on what part of the world you live in. Well, I will say that recently, when I say recently, maybe within the last 10 years, they have come up with a variety called winter rose, and it's this cool sort of double textured. These are actually bracts. The red part of a poinsettia is not the flower. That's actually a bract. The flower is actually this little yellow part inside. Yeah. So anyway, winter rose has this cool textured bract that makes it really neat for cup production. But you can use any of these poinsettias to cut. There's just a couple things that I like to do. If you're in a big hurry and you got lots of events going on, a lot of times you can just cut, put them in a bucket of water, let them drink real good and hydrate, and then use them in your designs. Any of the euphorbias, which these are euphorbias, I actually like to take a little flame and burn them. So I have a candle here because sometimes I think that's quicker. You can also use just a lighter and burn the ends. So I've got a container here that with some water in it, and we're going to cut some. Now, one thing I want to just point out too is the great thing about poinsettias is there's the red. Back here I've got a beautiful white, which has that kind of greeny cast to it. And now there's so many beautiful pinks. This is kind of a salmony pink. This is not a real like Pepto-Bismol pink. This one has a little bit of coral in it, which I love a whole lot. So we're just, and the other thing is you can buy, depending, like some of these I got from Lowe's, some of these I got from Kroger, but like this is a big, like, I don't know, 8-inch, it's almost like a 2-gallon pot. And you can see there are some great stems in here. So you can get some longer stems if you need them to be. I'm just gonna go in here and I am just gonna cut, and you'll see right here, there's the stem, just like that. And I'm going to just cut some of these leaves off because we don't need them all. And you'll start to see a milky sap kind of appear. Don't panic. Sometimes you can kind of, drop that off, but here you can see the little white? Well, that's the part we're gonna burn. So I'm gonna take a candle and I'm just gonna put it in the flame, and I'm not trying to cook it, I'm just trying to sear it. So that way it is just barely black, and I want to put it right in the water. And it's just that easy. So let's do a couple more. Let me go in here. Here's another big one. I like that length. Gonna pull off a couple leaves. And look at that big, beautiful flower. Isn't that just gorgeous? And that's why I'm like, we've got these amazing flowers for the holidays right under our nose. So why not use them? A little burn and put them in. Now, let's, one thing I will say about euphorbia is if you get the sap on your hands, it's okay. Just make sure you wash them when you're done, okay? I'm gonna come in here now and I am going to cut one of these babies. So this is, again, you see how tall this plant is. So it has some good stem length. So it's not really hard. And the other thing I'm gonna say about this is there are so many stems in these pots. A lot of times they'll put 2 or 3 plants in a pot, and that is amazing. Isn't that beautiful? And it's just that simple. Gonna burn the ends, kind of sizzle it. Voila. You can see where it's just discolored, and put it in the containers. Let's do one more of these, and then we're gonna do a couple white. And they're just so pretty. So you can do this with almost any poinsettias, whether they're marbles, maybe you find some 4-inch with smaller blooms that you want to work with. You know, sometimes these might be too big for something you're doing. And that's okay. You can use the smaller stems too. Or I could have cut these shorter. I could have also left them a little bit longer. I definitely did not cut these all the way down. Okay, so there you go. Okay, let me pull the white one here for a second so you can see that. This particular white one, and you're going to find this when you go to the store, that some of the varieties are grown differently because they might have different lengths or heights. So I'm going to cut this little puppy. But poinsettias are great to design with, and you don't need to be afraid of them. A lot of times people are afraid they'll wilt. I did a design last year for a video like this, and I think it lasted 10 days, and voila. Beautiful flowers that you can use, and they're everywhere. They're easy to find, and a lot of times you can even get great deals on them. So don't be afraid to try a cut poinsettia.